Oh, that smells so good. The nutty and the toasty aroma. Voila, there's your brown butter. Hi, I'm Hambit, and I'm a pastry chef from Korea. Hi everybody, it's Hambit here. In this video, I'll show you how to make the perfect brown butter. I know I've covered how to make the brown butter in my Finalizing video, but I wanted to make a separate video which covers this topic in more detail. The concept of brown butter isn't that difficult. You basically melt the butter and you heat it so that the water content evaporates, and in doing so, the butter turns golden brown and the milk solids separate and sink to the bottom into brown specks. The other term for brown butter is hazelnut butter, or in French, beurre noisette. And the reason for that is because brown butter has a toasty and nutty flavor, and not because it's made out of hazelnuts. The one product that must use brown butter is Finalizing. And if you want to find out more about how to make amazing Finalizing, just look at my video. Apart from Finalizing, if you want more of a nutty flavor, then feel free to use brown butter wherever you like. So you can use it for pound cakes, madeleines, etc. But the difficulty here is the timing. How much do I have to brown the butter by? How do I gauge it? And in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to get the timing right by looking at the color, by the smell, and by listening to the sound. What you need to make brown butter is obviously butter. And in terms of the saucepan, you can use a saucepan or a skillet or anything, but you want the interior to be light in color, because you need to be able to gauge your butter turning into a brown color. I'm going to start by first melting the butter. I've got a whisk, you can use a spatula, it really doesn't matter. And once this butter melts, I'm not even going to touch it. I'm just going to let it evaporate and turn brown. Have you clicked like and subscribe? It's still yellow, it hasn't browned yet. In terms of the smell, there's not much difference so far. In terms of sound, I can start to hear it sizzling. What's going to happen is as it sizzles, it's going to start foaming. You can hear the sizzling. Remember, it started with a light yellow color. It's now dark yellow, and it's going to start turning into light brown. See the foam right there? It started to foam. At the same time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare ice cold water. In terms of the sound, the sizzling and the crackling sound has subsided. It means we're almost getting there. There's a lot of foam, and when the foam subsides, that means you're ready. See the foam subsiding? Have a look here. See? It's brown. That means it's done. I'm going to turn it off, and I don't want this to brown further from the residual heat, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in ice cold water. That's going to stop the browning. By the way, every butter is different, so different butters will exhibit different amounts of sizzling and different amounts of foam. So the guideline that I'm giving you today is a guideline that you need to adapt to the butter that you're using. Well, you might ask whether you have to strain it, and that's actually completely up to you. To be honest, the brown specks at the bottom will have more of the nutty flavor, but I personally prefer a pure brown butter, so I strain it. Oh, that smells so good, the nutty and the toasty aroma. Voila, there's your brown butter. It's worth knowing how much weight the butter loses when it turns into brown butter. Typically, the butter will lose around 20% of its weight when it turns into brown butter. That's the amount that evaporates. So what this means is that if you need 80 grams of brown butter, you will need to start with 100 grams of butter. And this is a mistake that a lot of people make, and a mistake that I made when I started baking. I didn't account for the weight loss from the evaporation, so I had to make brown butter again, so I hope you don't make that mistake. Well, how do you store brown butter? Once the brown butter cools down completely, put it in the fridge and it'll solidify. This is brown butter that has solidified in the fridge, and this is how I'm going to keep it in the fridge for about 3 to 4 weeks. And you just have to cut it out and melt it in the microwave before using it. Hopefully this video on making brown butter was useful. It's pastry 101, and making a good brown butter is essential to making good pastry products, and especially financier. And brown butter is not only used in pastry alone, but it's used in cooking as well. I'll come back next time with another pastry 101 tutorial. Thanks very much. 감사합니다.